preparing your kids to be citizens of this great land. I know as governor, I think it's essential that our students are able to graduate with a working knowledge of American civics and American history. And if we don't have that, you know, this stuff is just going to continue to fray, and ultimately we're not going to be successful as a people. So you're playing a vital role, not just in what you're doing for your family, but I really believe in the preservation of American liberty in this great republic. So you have a lot of power to shape this in a positive direction. Final thing I'll say, you know, we also have power. You know, you look at like Washington, all this stuff. We have power as people to hold Congress accountable, to change the trajectory of how they behave. I'm involved in two things right now amongst the states to propose amendments to the federal Constitution under Article 5, which you're allowed to do. Congress can propose, the states can propose. 3/4 of the states have to ratify either way. But I believe we're never going to get the country back on track unless we change the behavior of the people that are in Congress. And to do that, you need term limits for members of Congress. And you need a balanced budget requirement for the federal Constitution. So, and don't tell me it can't be done. In Florida, we have term limits for our state legislators. I'm telling you, people can say there's things that aren't as good, and there's always pluses and minuses, but we are much better off having term limits, even when we have folks that aren't doing a good job. I'd rather have that than have entrenched politicians in there for 20 or 30 years. I would not have been able to get done all that we've gotten done. I mean, think about what we've done. You know, we banned sanctuary cities. We're requiring state and locals to help the feds with immigration enforcement and deportations. We did the anti-woke, we banned DEI, first state in the country to do it. On and on it goes. You look at all the stuff we've done. I can sit here for a long time and do it. I don't think we would have been able to get that done if we didn't have term limits. So I think Florida shows that's good. In the last 6 years, we've been more productive than any state in modern American history, and we're proud of that. But also look at the financial. So when I became governor, we had, if you look when I became governor till today, all the debt in the history of Florida, 180 years, we've paid off 41% of it just in my tenure. And so that's running surpluses and then paying off debt that was incurred in previous years. We've run big budget surpluses. We've almost quadrupled the state's rainy day fund, and we're spending less today in this current year than we did in the previous year. So you have a budget that's actually reduced spending. We have the second lowest per capita spending of any state in the United States, and we have the lowest number of state government workers per capita of any state in the United States. And so I tell people, Florida was Doge before Doge was cool. I just wish the Congress would listen to Elon and actually implement those Doge reductions. That's what we need. So we've done all that, and yet, over that period of time, we've done billions and billions of dollars of tax relief for Floridians, and that's spanned a bunch of stuff. We now, under my tenure, have enacted permanent tax-free for baby items. And so diapers, wipes, you don't pay any sales tax on that, which is really important. Now, I didn't end up getting the legislature to do this until after our youngest was out of diapers. And my wife reminds me, we could have saved a lot of money with that one, but that's fine. We didn't have Bidenflation when I first became governor either, so there's a lot. So we did that. We did the toll relief, which is big in Central Florida, and we 50% reduction in tolls for our commuters 2 years in a row. We've done law enforcement bonuses. We've done a lot, and we'll continue to do more. So the tax relief. But then we've also done really big things that benefit Floridians. You know, our school choice program is a big investment financially because it's $8,000 plus whatever it is per person. And that's a big deal. Obviously, it's beneficial for homeschool, it's beneficial for private education, but that's a big commitment. But we met it, and we're doing more on education financially than we've ever done in the history of the state, including increases for teacher salaries. We're also doing more than we've ever done for law and order and law enforcement, including $5,000 bonuses for all new recruits. Why would you want to be working in Seattle when they treat you poorly? You can come to Florida, you'll be treated well, and you get $5,000 to start. A lot of people like that, so they do it. We're also doing things to protect Florida and conserve Florida's natural environment, like Everglades restoration, springs all these great things that are really, really significant, and people didn't really want to take it on in a big way until I came, and we're doing it. We've also done things with transportation and infrastructure. So those of you who do I-4, we just opened these temporary expansion lanes 8 months early. Honestly, it's made a difference. And we're going to do that whole I-4 project, all these things. We had billions and billions of dollars, and we accelerated it because I don't want to start these. They were scheduled to start 10, 15 years into the future. We're going to deliver projects now 5, 10, 15 years ahead of schedule. So we're doing big things, but we're doing it in a fiscally responsible way that protects taxpayers, that holds the line on spending, that pays down debt, that adds to the rainy day fund, and doing it. So don't tell me it can't be done. But if the path of least resistance politically is to charge it on the credit card, that's what politicians are going to do. And so you have to have a requirement that they actually have to make tough decisions. We had to make tough decisions in Florida when COVID hit. Everyone said, oh, no one's going to go to Florida and they're not going to have a budget. That was like the opposite of what happened. Everybody came to Florida because we were open during COVID and many of these other places were not. So it can be done, and I've been working with other states. Florida's already certified both of these. Other states are coming on, but don't act like, you know, if someone in Washington, you know, the Congress, if they're not doing what you think they should do, don't act like you're powerless. We, the people in the states, have the ability to do really significant reforms through constitutional amendment. And I think that needs to happen, and I think that'll be a big, big plus for the country as a whole. So I just want to say thank you for what you're doing. I think that as important as the education is, I think it's a broader issue that you're supporting of vindicating parental rights and making sure that the students that are growing up in Florida, the kids that are growing up in Florida, yes, prepare them to go to college or to go to a job or all that, but no matter what pathway you take, you will be called upon to be citizens of this republic. And we need to make sure that when they're doing that, they're not just some blank slate with no foundation, that they actually have a good understanding of what it means to be an American. Because when you're here as an American citizen, you've effectively won life's lottery, and I would not want to have my kids growing up in any other country or in any other state in this union. Thank you, God bless you, and keep up the great work.
All right. Thank you so much to Governor DeSantis. He is a hero in my eyes for another reason